in the case just buyer thinking about instead of 3.8, if he probably to buy 3.6, then counter offer means okay, I'm going to sell you this car 3.6. Then he agree with that, right? This is reciprocated offer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then power play, making you flinch, is basically trying to upset people so that they lose their cool. Trying to see where is their limit, trying to figure out what is inside of their heads by really becoming.
It means I'll buy this car 3.2, but he got make a flinch.
Like, huh? What? So exactly.
Then okay, seller will going to tell you no, it's impossible.
Right.
Okay, the kind of point. Originally he want to say 0.8, but now is he made a flinch of 3.6.
Right.
Right. That kind of things, right?
So you basically and then say, oh yeah, but and I want to have a navigation. Oh. Yeah, and of course metallic paint, right? That's included, right? And this and that, and then basically until the salesmen get really really pissed. So they're basically adding little by little to your bidding. That's called nibbling, and basically you take more and more until the other side really gets pissed off. Then you say, okay, I reached the breaking point. So what you did with the with the necktie is
Right.
kind of, you were nibbling, trying to make him flinch. The other side responded with a take it or leave it negotiation strategy.
I think this kind of technique is very important to negotiate your wife. Right? It's
Flinch.
have experience, many experiences with your wife. It's very important to get better. But many cases people don't thinking about wife is not a good target to study. Right? It's very important.
Well, speaking of a good negotiation strategy with your wife, personal insult.
Beat you. Feather laughing.
Right.
Oh my God.
Right. So personal.
She's using always personal insult and
Right.
feather laughing. I'm familiar with that, but calm down.
Yes,
Down.
exactly. So don't become insecure. Just calm down. Take one step away. Let her.
This morning I teach Kimoto is hot, front forehead is hot, backward cool. Cool what? I forget the word.
I don't know that
Head,
expression.
brain, forehead. They are thinking about calculation, mathematical, and the skill.
So the forehead is cold.
The backward is hot. This is sentiment.
Right.
Woman is much more emphasized on the backward. Men is forehead. This is okay.
Well, actually, also this is very personal, of course, and it also depends on which culture you're from. It's very easy to make an Italian be very emotional in any negotiation. Germans are much more difficult.
It's not kind of emotional.
Right.
Very cool.
Very cool. Cold. Well, bluffing, puffing, and lying. So I was talking. A friend of mine was interested in starting an English school in Hiro, and I knew a guy who had an English school, and who was to leave Japan. So I contacted him and I asked about his school, what he was going to do with it, and whether it was up for sale. Now, obviously he was bluffing about the price and about the revenue that his company made. So it didn't make any sense to negotiate that. But
why he's bluffing?
Well, because he wants to get a better price for it.
Price for what?
For his school. So two guys that I know, and I know one guy is going out of Japan and wants to sell his company. And the other, basically, he didn't say he wants to sell it, but I mean, obviously, if you leave Japan, then you can just leave it there, and it's worth
He's
nothing.
leave Japan.
Yeah,
He want to sell school.
I would assume that he wants to sell the school, but he said he
okay.
wasn't that eager
Okay.
in selling the school, and he was also exaggerating the revenue that he made.
Exactly, the same experience for the before the live door. Yes,
So
live door company.
right, he bought
Black.
right. So yeah, okay. So that's also a negotiation tactic. So
understand.
basically, you just need to study them and try to see the books and see if they're interested. But probably I will hear back from him in a week or two or something like that. Then threats and warnings. Okay, so that can be. Yeah, that is a strategy that is more what you maybe can expect in Black Company.
Black company.
Right, so personal threats, really trying to manipulate you. I mean, actually inviting your wife could be one.
Threat is buyer threat for seller.
So what one reason that it's
Well,
not
your company, Black company, is it like this? 3.8, too expensive.
No, I think basically in this case, what you experience, so they invite your wife. Why do they do that? It's not because they're unprofessional. They want to know how desperate you are. They want to know how desperate you want that job. Right? So if you are not that desperate, you will just refuse them and say, okay, well, sorry, I will not do business. But if you are desperate, you know, and you bring your wife, then they will know. Okay, so we can negotiate this further down. It's a tactic. It's the same as threats and warning. So I would definitely say don't do it, because it will weaken your negotiation. So don't. You're not friends with them. So you bring your wife in order to make a better relationship, but that's not the case. There is no relationship yet.
No, I don't understand. This is threat.
Well, it's actually the same thing what they're trying to do.
They ask me to bring my wife, but why not? Why you ask me like that? I
Right.
don't need to take my wife because
Yeah.
this is dealing,
Exactly.
right?
It's business, not private. Okay, so we talked about this belittling your alternatives. People say that they have a bad now, but you say, "Oh, that's not a bad now. It's not worth anything."
Belittling your alternative. It means
But somebody says, somebody says, okay, I can get this much money for my company. So if you're interested in buying my company, I can get this much for my company. I said, well, if you can get that much for your company, then please go ahead and make the deal, because I will never pay you that kind of money. I'm sure that they will not pay you that for your money. But if you can get it, then please take it immediately. Go ahead. I'm not interested. So basically, making the other side feel insecure about their alternatives. Or I'm considering to buy a Volvo. So I have a nice Volvo that I can buy for this money. I say, a Volvo? Are you seriously going to buy a Volvo? That's a terrible car. You know that they don't have any dealers, and the service is terrible. They have a terrible track record in Japan. The Volvo is not a good one. So, by making the other side insecure about their Batna, you can basically increase your negotiation power. If they are, for example, considering an ERP implementation between two big vendors, you say, that company, do you know how often they fail in their project? It's terrible. They don't have the skills. They don't have the resources. I definitely would not recommend doing business with them.
okay.